Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Andrew King, and I have the pleasure of having Robbie Bernstein here today to help us demonstrate commercebuild, fantastic e-commerce solution that we sell along with Business Central. So a little bit about us before we dive in. Websan Solutions is now a new solutions partner designation for both business applications and modern work. Been around we're in our 24th year now, actually. Really specialize in Dynamics 365 Business Central. We were Business Central Partner of the Year a couple of years ago, and also CRM. If you haven't been to our YouTube channel, please check it out. We have over 2 million views now and almost 10,000 subscribers. So pretty excited about that. So anyway, without further ado, here's Robbie, and she can talk to us about commercebuild. So thanks, Robbie, for joining us today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. And thank you so much, Andy. We are so excited. So, hi, everyone. I'm Robbie Bernstein. I'm one of the sales directors here at commercebuild. And today I'm going to share how we really make e-commerce easy and affordable with direct integration into Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. I will start the presentation today with a quick overview of who we are at commercebuild, followed by a demo from my colleague Paul Stacy, the VP of Customer Success. So you've invested your business into the ERP with how you sell to your buyers and how they buy from you. So let's show you how to leverage all that business logic online. So a little bit about commercebuild. We've been integrating into ERP since 2006, creating thousands of sites globally for over 17 years. We're out of the box, a turnkey solution with fixed pricing. So what this means is that we're affordable and we're fast. On average, we can create customer portals in a couple of days, and B2B and B2C sites have been launched as quick as 60 days. We publish our SaaS pricing on our website. We have nothing to hide, so we want you to see all the packages. You can always start small. You can grow with us over the years. We love SMBs, that's our focus, but we're also an enterprise level solution. So don't worry if you need to start with that advanced logic because you need those kits, configurators, no problem. We've got you covered with that. We truly love our customers and we go above and beyond daily to ensure their success and happiness. And with a worldwide team, we support our global clients 24/7, 365 days a year with a response time of less than an hour during business hours if you need any help. And I'll also like to add that support is included in all our packages at no charge. Another thing that makes us really unique is that we're a one-stop shop. So what this means is that we really start to ensure from the beginning of our conversations that we understand what you're trying to achieve. Every call after that, we keep advancing that scoping. So we're always on the same page. If you're to move forward with commercebuild, we'll give you a dedicated project manager that also helps to continue that planning. We'll connect to your business central, we'll build it, test it, and launch it. We get asked this all the time. We absolutely do all the hosting, so you don't need to worry about that. And we get it. So many companies don't have design teams, and we also can assist. We've been doing this, as I say, for 17 years, so that should not be a problem at all. So your Business Central ERP hosts all your data, as you can see in this chart. But what's not offered in the ERP is the e-commerce. And this is what makes us that missing piece to complete the circle. We always say the ERP is the center of truth. Okay, I'm a little cheesy. I always add, amen, but it's so true. So we're here to leverage your business logic into all your solutions. And what makes us great is that we seamlessly sync all this critical data to build out a personalized and exceptional buying experience for your customers with that accurate logic inside your ERP. We create a fully stacked web store or even customer portals so your customers can look up that transactional history, pay the invoices, track orders, all within a click of a button. We offer an admin panel or a native integration. The content management can be managed within the ERP or in our system. And your sales reps are going to love our sales order entry pad. We are mobile optimized. I wanted to have some fun today. So it's always, I think, enjoyable to share what clients are saying to us in discovery calls and how we help them and why they decided to become a client of ours. So, with the first quote, well, I asked a question on the first call, describe your sales process. Wasn't expecting the president to describe it as a dog's breakfast. As today's PG-13 rated, I could put much worse. We've all heard it, but to have fun with this. But what their biggest pain point was is that, like many companies, all their sales reps, they go onto the road, they're in the field for, over a week at a time each month. So it takes them 7 days to get back to the office to put in all those orders that they've handwritten. And we're all human, and it happens to the best of us. And unfortunately, happened to them where they couldn't read their handwriting. And so they're putting in the wrong SKUs, the wrong amounts. The customers were frustrated because A, they're getting wrong shipments, but B, it's taken over 7 days from that conversation to get the orders, shipped out. So we developed a full web store for them. But essentially, what was really the key was that the sales reps now could be on a tablet so that when they're in front of the customer, they can easily put in the order. It pushes directly into Business Central so that literally when they're leaving that office to go to the next appointment, their client's order is already being picked and shipped in the warehouse. So the efficiencies, the ROI, the reordering, so much faster, but most of all, that accuracy. The second quote, well, can you imagine a company that uses a 20-page Excel sheet to make their clients buy from them? And she said the worst was to reorder was often one item. So they said they could do better, and they knew they could do better for their clients, especially her quotes being in 2023. So for them, they wanted a really simple site so that their clients could order any time of day. They didn't have to go blind looking at, the Excel sheet to see what they needed to order and hoping it's accurate, because they also had so many inaccurate orders because it was really hard to read the sheets. So the wrong SKUs were ordered or the size amounts. So the best part too was they were thrilled to know that their customers could see if it was being processed, if the item was back ordered, and to click on that tracking so that they weren't calling up, their customer service teams all the time. Lastly, this quote, building our business and increasing sales, you can see standing out there. This was a logistics company, and they needed the phones to stop ringing. Not that they don't love their clients, but the biggest pain for them was that they're calling up all the time asking, how many SKUs, inventory do we have with our SKUs? And hey, can you ship this to X, Y, and Z? They knew that all these, consistent phone calls to their CSRs and even sales reps could have been handled within a click of a button and managed seamlessly so that their team could then focus on onboarding, growing new sales, and not on these mundane tasks. So these were three examples that, it's always fun to share. Okay, I know the moment you've all been waiting for. Paul is going to show you how easy it is to download our app and how we will build out a store. Thanks, everyone. I'll be back in a moment.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm going to start this presentation by explaining just how simple it is to build a commercebuild web store connected directly to a Business Central environment. It really starts by searching in the extension marketplace for commercebuild and installing the commercebuild app. And once that app is actually installed, you'll see this new menu appear at the top. And from this point on, you can click on the new store wizard, enter a store name, enter your email address, and click create. When the store is created, and that's typically a couple of minutes, when the store is created, you'll get an email to indicate that the store is then ready with the URL for that store. And from that point onwards, you have a web store connected to your Business Central environment. And then you can start to play with that web store and configure it either specifically for a demonstration to a customer or for a customer themselves to start to explore. And everything that I'm going to show you from this point onwards was started in exactly that same way. So this particular demo site here is connected to my Business Central demo environment over here. So with the web store built and data synchronized up to the store for the first time, it's possible to start exploring the web store now. And typically a business-to-business user is the most common scenario we come across. So as you log into the store, a particular user is associated with a customer, and the customer would have synchronized from Business Central. In my case here, I'm a Deerfield Graphics company, and everything I do now in the web store would relate to Deerfield Graphics. So, for example, here I am on the shipments page, and it would be the same for orders and so on. We can see right away that very quickly we can get the initial view of sales orders or of shipments. Shipments here in this case, with tracking links off to FedEx or UPS. You can download documents and view the contents of the shipment. Very commonly, we get asked questions about how people can get copies of invoices, and that's exactly where you would go. You'd go to the transaction screen to get those copies. So, for example, here you can drill into the invoice itself and see the details of what was initially sent on the invoice. You can download a copy of the invoice simply by clicking the link. This is actually regenerating a copy of the invoice directly from Business Central. So it's using the template for the invoice in Business Central. That's a very powerful way of giving web store users the ability to get invoices for themselves. And also back here on the transaction screen, they get a total view of all of the invoices and payments that have been made against their account. And they can optionally choose to pay open invoices. And this is a very useful screen that allows the user not only to see the invoices that are due, but also to make payments against them. And the user can actually at this point decide which invoices they wish to pay and how much of that invoice they wish to pay. They can choose to pay any amount up to the amount that's due, and they can continue to do that over time. If there were invoice discounts available, those would also be displayed here. And as they enter the amount that they're wishing to pay, on the next screen, this will depend what kind of gateway you have here. A credit card only gateway would do this kind of thing, displaying a credit card form. Or perhaps you're also offering ACH payments, in which case there'd be an option here to select ACH or credit card as the option. Either are supported, it depends on the gateway. And really, at the end of the day, we're just trying to get the user to confirm the payment method that's going to be used to pay this particular invoice, and then it's up to the gateway to confirm that payment was successful. In doing so, the gateway reports back to the web store that the payment was made, and at that point, funds are on the way to the bank, and a customer ledger transaction would be created in Business Central. So on the e-commerce side of the web store, we always take the view that a web store should be totally intuitive and should really provide an environment where navigation is easy and flexible and allows users to find what they're looking for quickly. So we really advocate for making extensive use of searching. So the user may just come up to the search box at the top right here and enter a term. And if they do that, they should expect to see some results. So, whatever their search term is that makes sense to them to search for, provide them some responses to that, some answers, and give them initially that view of the products that they're actually looking for. So searching is very, very important. Categorizing items, again, very important. So you may have, hundreds or thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of items. It really doesn't matter. The key thing here is to provide the extensive searching, categorizing, and filtering of those items so that the user's journey through the store is intuitive. So as we come into categories, and you can have categories, a typical category structure would maybe be 3 levels deep, but typically not much more than 3 levels. So, in my example here, I have products as the top level and chairs as the second level, but you could go down a third. But in each of these categories, it's also important to include things like item filters so that the user can easily find within that category the products that they're looking for by using filtering down the side here. as the user navigates through the store, you may decide that you wish to show them various bits of information that are relevant to them. And again, just alluding to what I mentioned earlier on, different types of users, so sales reps, customer service reps, and customers, as an example, may see or may not see certain bits of information here. So while a sales rep, for example, may have information about the quantity of an item in stock, perhaps a customer only gets to see whether it's in stock or out of stock, or maybe they don't see any stock information at all. So you can make those choices as a web store is being implemented. But really, either way, all of that is controlled by the configuration of the web store. But really, the key thing here is to make sure that the data that's being displayed to the web store user really is complete. So many sites have products that they rush to put up onto a web store, and the data for those products is really quite poor and incomplete. And not only does that affect the ability to search and navigate through a store, but also then when a user lands on a product page, they're not getting to the information that they want, and their experience is satisfying. So really, a really great web store would be a store that comprises all of the relevant information that the web store user needs to see. So in my example here, the item code and description are driven from the item card record in Business Central. And so that's the basic information to get us started here. But we've also got down here some item attributes that have mapped through from Business Central and are used here for display and for search purposes throughout the store. And of course, you might decide to display these in different ways throughout the pages. Equally, the inventory availability displayed over here on the right, in my case, as I mentioned, could be different for different types of users, what it is that you want to show them. You can even go down to the extent of showing not only a total quantity and perhaps in a major warehouse, but also a breakdown of quantities across various warehouses as you wish, according to the type of user that's logged in. The pricing, just like the inventory availability, the pricing is dynamically driven from Business Central. So there are no pricing rules within the web store, which is great in terms of maintenance of the web store data. So every time a web store page, a product page, a category page is loaded, we're checking constantly that the price is correct. So this price of $192.80 is driven from the pricing configuration within Business Central. Units of measure coming from Business Central, so multiple units of measure here are supported with the converting factors between, in this case, pieces and a set of 4. So you can decide how you wish to display those units of measure. And quite a nice feature here too is the ability to add comments to an order line. So this really is very, very useful for things like project or job numbers, or maybe to capture additional information about a product. Perhaps you perform a service to this product. Maybe you'd offer the ability to ship it as parts or ship it built. So you can allow the user to add ad hoc comments, or you can actually allow them to select from various fixed comments if you wish, from a predefined form. And those comments would then flow through into Business Central as order line comments. So really adding the item into the cart here is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the user to find the item that they want and put that item into the cart. And then from the cart, they will later go and check out. One of the other important areas that you could optionally add, so we mentioned there about the item attributes could come through from Business Central, but they don't have to exist in Business Central. They could just simply be added to the item in the web store. And that's a very simple process done within the administration of the store. But equally, you can actually integrate to a third-party product like a PIM, a product information management system. In our example here, we integrate with a PIM called Plitix, which provides the ability then to maintain really good quality product data. And so in my example here, this data for the features of this particular product are actually coming dynamically from the Plytix product page in the PIM. And also, very importantly, a very common question we get asked is about how and where to store PDFs, so spec sheets, safety sheets, that kind of thing that relate to an item. Well, a PIM like Plytix is also what's known as a DAM, a digital asset management system. And a DAM allows you to generate PDFs and store those PDFs against the item code. And then again, in this example here, we're dynamically pulling this PDF from Plytix for this particular item. And so clearly allowing the user to be able to download this particular PDF. There are many ways to add an item to the cart. You might do that, as we've shown already, through the product page. Optionally, you can add to cart directly from a category or search page. It might be that you simply go to an old order and reorder everything that was on that previous order. You also have an option to have order templates. And a template is a great idea that a user can build their own list of items that they wish to put into a template, or indeed a sales rep can actually build a template or multiple templates for an individual customer. So all we're really trying to do is get the user to add items into their cart in the best way that suits them. And different types of users will have different ideas for sure. So whether it's a template or just going from the product and search pages, that might suit individual end users, for example. But perhaps if you're a sales rep or a customer service rep, you might also use the feature called Quick Order here. And this feature actually allows you to simply search very, very quickly without having to navigate away and add items into the cart as you go. So you're simply searching for a search term that's relevant to the item you're looking for, and simply by adding it to the quick order here, it's actually putting it directly into the cart. But that's fine. All of these are fine for individual items that are basically individual SKUs. But quite often you have groups of SKUs that you want to group together onto a single page, and the web store would call this item variants. Business Central also has a variant concept, of course. The slight limitation with Business Central is you can only have one level of variation. So you could have maybe color or maybe size or material, something like that. But you can't have color and size, or color, size, and material. In a web store, that's maybe a little limiting. And so here in the commercebuild store, we've gathered together here the various items with different attributes that allows the user to determine how they want to find the item they're looking for. So if they know they're looking for a blue chair, they could perhaps use blue as the initial selection, and then they can see that they've got a guest chair or a swivel chair as that they could have in blue. And as they make their final selection here, then the code here changes, the picture changes, inventory and pricing all change over here, and the user can easily add that to the cart as an individual SKU. On top of that is the idea that you might actually want to order a configurable item. And my example here of a bike. So here, although it's a bike that we want to order, a bike comprises various component parts. And so the configurator within the web store here allows the user to make various selections. And as they're making various selections, so here to do with the wheels and the frame and the forks and so on, as they're making those selections, the store is determining that the selections being made in any of these sections are valid against the other selections that are made. And so here, for example, this particular combination would be a valid combination. And so certain items as well, you can make mandatory, and other items you might choose to make optional. And as the user is building this up and putting the item into the cart, in this particular case with a configurable item, it not only puts a top level item into the cart, but also all of the component parts as well. And so those would then flow through into Business Central as a list of components, or essentially a kit. So the user might return to the cart at really at any point in time at all. And we often find that with business to business users, actually they're building up the contents of a cart, perhaps over the course of a few hours or days. And one of the important aspects of a Commerce Build web store is that the cart items never disappear. So it's really up to the user to either manually take the items out of the cart, or in fact to proceed through to checkout and place their order. Just like everywhere else in the store, the actual look and feel of the cart here is completely configurable. So in this case, we have lots of information about not only the order quantity, but also what's available, what would be back ordered, and potentially where those items would be coming from. And this might be too much information to share with an actual end user. But basically, once the user is actually happy with the contents of their cart there, they can begin the actual checkout process. And by hitting the proceed to checkout button, because we're actually a business to business environment here, we don't need to ask them about their billing address. That's already known just by virtue of the user that's logged in and the company they're linked to. But we might need to ask them about their shipping and where they would like to ship this particular order. So the web store has synced these shipping addresses from Business Central, but they might also allow the user to add new shipping addresses on the fly here. If they do that, there are various options for ensuring the validity of this delivery address, and that will depend on the particular configuration of this web store. But it might be fine just to use Google address validation. It may be that you have something like Avalara or Shortax implemented here, in which case the address is validated by those applications. Or indeed, if you have integrated shipping like UPS, FedEx, and so on, and USPS, addresses will be validated because of those integrations as well. So many different ways of achieving the same goal, which is to make sure that the user is entering or selecting here a valid address. And as they select through on the address, then we come down to the shipping methods. And shipping methods are they're always a very detailed conversation that we have with our customers. And shipping methods can range really from something really quite basic to, for something like perhaps a dollar rate per pound or per kilogram shipping to a particular region or a particular state, all the way through to fully integrated shipping with people like FedEx, UPS, USPS, LTL carriers, and in fact, all the way through to shipping optimization systems. We work with a company called Osco, which provides the ability to actually package products into discrete boxes with known weights and dimensions, and then use those weights and dimensions to pass to the shipping carriers and actually come up with a much more detailed and accurate shipping quote. So shipping is always a major topic as we're implementing web stores, but we have lots and lots of different options there to cope with the shipping situations. Similarly, payments often are quite a topic to discuss, but one of the key aspects of this is that the web store will follow the payment terms on the customer's account in Business Central. So for Deerfield Graphics here, for example, if Deerfield Graphics has a regular net 30, net 45 type account in Business Central, then the web store will allow the person associated with Deerfield to actually place this order on account, and may optionally let them place this order on credit card. But the opposite is not true. So if a customer here has a cash or credit only account in Business Central, they would not get the option to put an order on account here, and the only option they would get would be a credit card option. In the case of credit card, we would integrate here with numerous different payment gateways. One of the popular ones for Business Central is iSolutions, VersaPay is another. So different options will suit different customers. But really our goal here is to make sure that the payment gateway in the web store has a reciprocal application in Business Central, so that as transactions are made in the web store with credit cards, the credit card token data is passed into Business Central where the transaction can actually be completed. If we post this order through here just on account, we come down to the last step of the order. Lots of different things can be prompted to the user at this particular point. Common ones would be a purchase order or some comments or instructions. You might ask for a shipment date, when you want this order, when it needs to be delivered by. Some people ask, do you want to only ship this order when everything's complete, or is it okay to part ship, and so on. So different things will suit different customers. But really, at the end of the day, the web store user is going to place this order 24/7. They can access, of course, placing orders anytime that they like. They're going to get an on-screen confirmation that the order was placed. At the same time, an order email confirmation is also on its way, and that can go to the person placing the order and to customer service reps and sales reps just by copy. And of course, in the background at the same time, this order is also being posted directly into Business Central.
To end out today, I just wanted to share a few more quick slides. We talked about it earlier, that customer support is everything to us. And this testimonial from our client Sconza Candy really says a lot. Jess and the whole CB, that's us, commercebuild, customer service team are literally the best support we have on any of our many, many platforms. They are so helpful and quick to respond. It's scary. And this is the only time I like to hear the word scary in a customer reference quote, but we do. We love our customers, and we really bend over backwards to make sure they are being helped every day and that we're growing with the needs. With that, I always love to say as well, our relationships with our clients are a partnership. So we really strive to put smiles on your customer's face with their ability to self-service and order 24/7, 365. We also work hard to ensure that you're happy and that we're growing with your needs so we can scale and grow with you. And removing that hand keying of orders so that you can increase those ROI with our web store solutions. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already at the end. I'm so excited, Andy, to be here today. I can't believe it. But, as we say, if anyone wants to have a conversation with us, they can reach out to your team, and
Yep.
we're just so excited.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Robbie. Really appreciate it. And guys, yeah, there are a lot of e-commerce solutions out there. We formed a strategic relationship with Robbie and her team, and it's really, really a solid solution. So encourage you to check it out. And like she said, feel free to reach out at any time. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, everybody.